Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's Pick a Reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca. Just want to make sure you're seeing it in the right spot. I am doing in-person readings in Herkimer, New York. If you're close to there and you want more information, shoot me an email. I'll let you know what's going on. I'll put the information about the decks and the dice below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? Bouncing in the chair. Whoop. All right, let's get everything down before we start yammering on. That's compatible. A lot coming in. There's a lot. Like, it's good. There's something good and there's healing with it, which feeling good and healing at the same time, I feel like that's very nice. That's very nice. Comfortable healing. Possibilities. I feel like Scorpio likes possibilities. Scorpio likes the ability to choose their possibilities. And I do think that's happening here. There is something with planning coming forward. All right. So you opened a door. You opened a door. You opened a door. You did open a door. This is how this is starting. I feel like Scorpio does this once in a while. You know, you open doors and maybe you're looking at this like, I don't know if I meant to open that door, but I did. Because you guys are quick movers and you get things done. You have stuff to do, you get it done. I feel like I didn't really think about where this was going to go. I didn't think this was going to be a long-lasting decision. I opened a door, I took a look. It was what it was. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good moment. I really wasn't thinking about the long term with it. I was just like, yeah, it was cool. It was in the moment. Yeah, fine. And you went with it. And it's like meeting somebody through like a social event that you're like, I'm here to support somebody else. And they're like, oh, hey, by the way, Scorpio, this is person. And person's like, hey, Scorpio. And you're like, hey, person. And maybe you got along with them and you liked them better than you thought, but you're like, yeah, that's cool and whatever, and you moved on with your life. I like them, but, I'm not going to, set up shop with them. That was cool. It was a good moment. I didn't think anything else of it. This energy is circling around you. It's going to come back in. This is like, it's waiting. I think it's compatible to you in ways I wouldn't expect. I don't know what that means. It's compatible in ways I wouldn't expect. It doesn't really know how you feel about them, whatever. This doesn't have to be a person. It could be something where maybe you helped out in a certain job. It could be something where you're working at a certain area, working at a certain place, and you helped out somewhere else. And you just kind of like, they need help, yeah, I can do that. And you just went over there and you did it. You're just like, they needed it. I'm here. I'm going to make a paycheck either way. Might as well get something done. Bam, bam, bam. You did what you needed to do and you moved on with your life. And they loved you, which I feel like Scorpio is typically quite likable. I really do. Sometimes I feel like Scorpio, the people I've talked with, it seems like sometimes Scorpios contest that, but I do feel like they're quite likable. And maybe it's a certain flavor of Scorpio. I don't know. But anyway, this energy seems to understand that like they're not going to win you over by trying to really like push or like really try to like put the heavy like you need to come hang out with us, Scorpio. They feel like whoever this is, they, them, whatever's going on there, could be a romance thing. You never know. Whatever this is, they seem to respect and understand like Scorpio will be a part of this if Scorpio wants to be. You're not going to convince Scorpio of anything. If Scorpio wants to be, you got to put the offer out at the right time. And if Scorpio wants to be, Scorpio will. They don't feel like they're going to convince you of anything. You either want to or you don't. That seems to be their impression of you anyway. So they're waiting, and they've been waiting, probably. Which sounds a little creepy. It doesn't have to be. Hopefully it's not. Kind of like, oh, they're waiting, are they? Oh, that's something. Yeah, the Death card. And then the Eight of Cups. You have a chance to move forward again. You might have done this before in the past, and it's kind of like, maybe it was this time last year you did that, and they're like, oh, yeah, I did that last year, I can do that again. And you go forward and you do what you need to do. But again, I feel like you're just like, yeah, this is cool for the moment, but I'm not really worried about it. It's all good. I don't think there's anything to really worry about. It's all good. And you're just kind of doing what you do, and then when you do what you do, that's when the possibility shows up. But it's a possibility. And it's not like, it's not rigid. It's definitely got a lot of wiggle room. It's not rigid. So whatever this is, how do you want it to be comes in. The Seven of Cups was a lot of possibilities here. This is not rigid. This is kind of like, we would love to have you here. Is there anything here that you like? That type of thing. We would love to have you here, Scorpio. Is there anything here that you like? Harvest with the magical powers. The magical powers sometimes feels like the Magician card to me. Doesn't have to be. The Harvest kind of gives me this weird moon feel, ironically. Kind of like, there's been a lot going on. There's a lot here that you could have. You don't have to take it. It does give me this kind of moon feel, and I don't know why. I don't usually get that with the Harvest. I usually think of Earth, but in this reading, I'm getting like, you could have a lot. You could make out with a lot here, but if you don't want this, you don't have to do that. I think as it's coming in, like the weather, it's coming up with the Seven of Cups too. I think that's another reason why it's kind of has that feel to me. Usually I think of it as Earth, but now I'm not feeling that right now. And I'm definitely an intuitive reader. That's kind of how I go about it. Now, they're presenting this. And then this is changing the flavor of the situation for you, if this is hitting, of course. What used to be kind of like, no big deal, I step in, I step out, I step in, I step out, no big deal, is now kind of like, oh, wait a minute, this is evolving. And I feel like I'm addressing like, okay, they like me. So, I don't know, I feel like you're addressing it immediately, kind of like, I don't really think I can keep going and just step in and step out when I want. I feel like that's going to create some type of stress. And I feel like I'm looking at this like this came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this, just kind of jumped forward. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing. It's not, even though it's not bad, I feel like I'm in a position where I'm like, all right, a lot of opportunities. But I feel like if I don't choose something here, I feel like that's a choice in itself. I don't feel like this is just going to hang out and just be like, you know, if someday you're bored and you want to do this, we can do it. I feel like it's kind of like, and it's not like they're presenting it like this, but it does feel like if I want this, I need to kind of choose something over here. And it's, again, it's not like they're presenting it that way, but it's almost like, do I want this or not? It's kind of like, that's how it feels. Like, do I want this or not? If I do, this is the time to go forward. If I don't, or if I don't know, I feel like this will be turned into a don't. It's going to kind of move. It's going to do its own thing. I just don't feel like it's going to last forever. They're not presenting it like it has a shelf life, but I feel like I'm kind of like, yeah, but I think it does. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Like, they're not saying, oh, you have this X amount of time to say yes or forget it. I don't see that. That's not how it's coming in, but I feel like you're like, yeah, but if it was me, I'd be like, well, either do it or don't. If you don't, that's fine. How is this? There's a lot of energy. There might be like a battle for your attention here. There might be. Can we get a little bit more on that? There might be a battle for your attention, which you may or may not like. Okay, so I do feel like there might be, but this might not be. This is interesting that came in that way. Okay, Ten of Pentacles reversed, lack of foundation. Star card with the King of Fire. If you go astrologically, in my opinion, King of Fire, King and Queen of Fire are Leo cards. Both of them, that's how I read them. Doesn't mean anybody else has to do the same thing. It's just, that's how I connect to them. The Star card talks about Aquarius energy. That seems to be more universal, the reason I'm putting that way. those energies they clash. They just clash. It doesn't quite work out. They tend to clash. They can get very heated with the way they clash too. It can be quite the thing. A lot of energy where there's this contradictory, other people trying to get your attention, other people trying to impress you type thing. But I think what people don't realize, and this is my impression of Scorpio, they can do a lot of like circus dole, whatever. They can do a lot of backflips, juggling. Ooh, look at this. I made this cake and set it on fire. Ooh, that's fun, isn't it? But if you don't want it, you're like, oh, the show was fun. But so, I don't know. It's just my impression of Scorpio, kind of like, yeah, you can do a lot of fun stuff and try to make it look great, but it's like, that cake is dry and you just burned it. It's just like, it looks fun. Maybe other people want it, but I'm like, it's dry and you just burned it. So why would I want that cake? Meanwhile, other people are like, oh, the cake, I gotta have the cake. It looks so much fun. It's so flash. It's so this. It's so that. And you're like, yeah, okay. You didn't have at it. You want it. I don't want that burnt cake. This isn't impressing you. But the people who actually do want your attention, that I feel like you do like, might have a little bit of a panic moment that they're like, no, Scorpio, don't look at the burnt cake, or don't look at that cake on fire, the jumping dogs, the circle juggler, whatever you want to, the Cirque du Soleil thing going on. Please don't go that way, Scorpio. Somebody might have like a panic moment, like, no, Scorpio, don't get impressed with that. We genuinely like you. We genuinely want best for you. We genuinely want you around. There might be a panic moment with that. Is that going to happen to Scorpio? They keep getting like there might be this panic moment where they're like, no, don't believe in them. There's stress. I feel like they're also giving me like, you see through that. You're like, calm down. It's fine. I feel like you might have it's fine. Just relax. You're fine. I feel like you're going to be okay during this moment. Other people might have a moment. I don't know. I do feel like some people might panic, like, no, don't fall for that ridiculousness, Scorpio. And you're like, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. If it's of concern to you that you're seeing somebody get stressed, I feel like if you see worthy, you can kind of like, squelch that. Like, listen, I know what it is. It's fine. Just relax. I'm still making my decision. That doesn't matter. Whether that's there or not, it doesn't change how I feel about your situation. Whether they're there or not, whether they're playing their little games or not, doesn't matter. I'm still going to feel the way I feel about this. I'm taking your offer seriously. That one isn't really even in the running. Don't worry about it. Take it with a grain of salt. This is just kind of how I'm picking up on it. I just don't feel like Scorpio is impressed with the the smoke and mirrors. I tend to think that Scorpio sees through it. I just tend to think so. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And I just like, yeah, that's a nice little show, but I know what you're doing. So, that energy, like, one of the reasons I feel like we're bringing that forward is this, there might become this era of desperation, kind of like, don't pass us by, Scorpio. That way you can kind of squelch that before it's even an issue, because I feel like they're like, oh, they might get the wrong idea, like, oh, I can do that too, we can do that too, look, we can do this, we can do that, like, let's, fireworks. I know you're not interested in that. I just keep getting that that's not what's going to cause you to make a decision once or left or right, but I don't know. If you're okay with it, you're okay with it, but like, there might be that coming forward. They don't want to miss out. They want you to know that they're serious. So they're like, we got to keep up. I don't know. It's not that bad. I don't think it's going to be that annoying, but I feel like you could squelch it before it's an issue. Do you want this? I get that there's a lot of stability and a lot of things, like, not everything is going to be like hard and fast with this situation. The stability, like, I know who I can depend on, I know who I can believe in, that's going to be there. And there's also going to be a lot of random things that come in and out, which I feel like is very accommodating to Scorpio. Scorpio doesn't like everything the same every time. That's how my impression of Scorpio. You like a little bit of spontaneity, randomness, within reason, depending on what's going on. You want the people you love safe. You want to be dependable on that. But you probably don't want the same meal every day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That type of stuff. This situation offers that. There's also a very heavy sense of loyalty here. which I feel like Scorpio very much appreciates that. People who are loyal to you and will show that loyalty, and you know you can depend on that loyalty, that is also here. So that's something to be offered here. It's not, I think I've said this, yeah, I said it with the Seven of Cups. It's not hard and fast how you're going to add in. You have a lot of leeway and a lot of like a decision power to how this is going to be run, how this will go forward if you choose it. I feel like the whole point of this reading is for you to like tailor it to what you want and put it out there and get what you want out of the situation. Clearly, if this is something you want, I don't feel like that's going to be that big of a deal. But I feel like also, maybe you're looking at this like, I don't really know if this is something I want. Tailor it the way you want, put forward, if I could have it this way, I'll take it. And then just see what happens. That might be if this hits for you, that might be an idea. This is how I would, for me to be a part of this, this is what I would want. And then just put it out there and see what happens. Because I also feel like for those of you who really don't want this, I don't think you got this far in the reading. You probably got that only so far, and you're like, yeah, I don't want that anyway. You just kind of moved on. The people who are still sticking around are continuing to discuss it or think about it. So tailor it the way you want, put it out there, see what happens. That's what I keep getting. You decide yourself, of course, if that's appropriate or not. But I'm also getting this. Did I show this? Don't get caught up in the gender, but you're in a power. This is a power moment for you. I should have probably said that a lot earlier, but this is a power moment for you to reshape your life where you want it and make it the way you want it, and to have more of what you're looking for in life. I'm going to throw the cards, so I think we're good. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.